and then
So yeah, I
go ahead.
guess the first thing I would want to say is that I know that you guys can be hard of hearing sometimes, but I did specifically say in my opening statement that I do think that there are meaningful differences between the sexes, and that obviously gender is something that's come out of sex, right? Like I've heard Andrew even say that gender is something that in other debates that gender is something that was like kind of informed by sex at a certain point. Um, but as somebody who's kept up with modern society, and I still maintain like the importance of etiquette and also understand the repercussions of not affirming somebody's identity, I tend to prefer to affirm people's identity.
So you think
And
that
I'm not saying
we should lie to be polite, is what you're saying?
I mean, look, I don't here's an example, okay? I personally don't believe in a god, right? I'm not going to go up to you and say, "Hey, guess what? Your god isn't real. Fuck your god." All of that, right? Maybe other people do that shit, but that's not me. So yeah, there is a
Well, so if people
there's
who
a
do,
reason.
Just one second.
people
But if you could
do
wrap it up.
that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was going to ask if
Yeah,
she
if
could wrap it up in 10
people
seconds.
if people do that, if people do
Uh-huh.
come after the Christian God, are they Christophobes? Is it Christophobia?
I mean,
when
I think
if
they're
they say that God's not
disrespectful,
real?
100%.
That's not
Yeah,
my
they're just
question.
Just
Is it
one second,
Yeah, so-
Stardust.
Christophobia?
I mean,
If
you can
they-
say it. Sure, why not? Fuck it.
Yeah, why not? So I would say that if somebody is saying like all Christians are this type of person and that we need to do this or whatever, and that their God isn't real and they're useless in society, things like that, like I would probably say, yeah,
You're
you know what,
loading
they
it.
are.
You're totally loading it. The question specifically is just this, okay?
Yeah.
If somebody does not
Mhm.
affirm that Christianity is true, are they Christophobic?
No,
No.
I don't think
then
so.
why isn't the true same for the transgender identity?
because I specifically told you that you don't have to agree with transgender ideology. Like you can choose to not believe in that.
That has nothing to do with the argument.
I don't think that not believing in it is transphobic.
That
I
has
think
nothing to do with the argument. If you make the statement that it's not Christophobia, it's not a phobia of Christianity, to say to them that to not affirm their identity is true. You just said that would not be Christophobia. How could it then be transphobia to refuse to affirm the identity
Does
is
it cause
true?
you material harm that other people don't believe in your religion?
Yes. But not only that, it's
Really?
actually one-to-one. It would be causing the same type of harm. What would be the distinction?
So
I think-
it doesn't
so-
devalue you as an individual.
I think it does. It's all about how I feel.
That's ridiculous.
Nina.
What do you mean?
It's how I feel.
Sure.
It's not about what's real, right?
Okay, well,
it's
if
it's
you're-
how it's perceived.
Okay, so specifically, I did also say that saying a trans man is not male is not transphobic, in my opinion. So, like, with
Then
that,
that's the
with-
end of the
Isn't
debate.
that the
Then
premise
that's
of
the
the
end of the
debate?
debate.
the difference is I specifically said saying trans men aren't men is probably transphobic.
Right,
Saying
that's the
trans
premise of
men
the debate.
aren't male is probably not. No trans person is going to say that, or most trans people are not going to try and argue with you that they've changed their sex successfully. They know they haven't,
I
right?
don't understand. Let me be very specific.
hmm
Are you claiming that if I do not affirm the identity, meaning lie, to a person you call a trans
Wait,
person,
no,
and tell
no.
them,
You
saying
let me
identity.
finish.
Why is
Let
it
me
a
finish
lie?
the question,
Nina,
and
then
then you
we'll-
can respond.
We'll
Nina.
give you a minute to
Okay.
respond on the other side.
Specifically, is it transphobic for me not to affirm a trans person's identity, or isn't it?
1 minute on the clock.
Why do you keep? Okay, well, this isn't going to be necessarily a response to your question, but I just don't like the
You're going to
framing that,
ask a question to
identity
answer
is
the
a
question.
lie.
Great. Perfect, Nina.
It's
No
it's
need to
the
answer the
premise of the
question.
debate.
Well, but
So
it's the
right.
well, no,
If
it's
you,
not about a lie. It's just about like why are you thinking that like it's like
Let
I mean,
me
to
try
use
one
your
more
own
time with the
example-
question.
no, to use
the
your
question
own
is it
you can identify
transphobic
as
for
a
me to not
Christian,
affirm
like,
the identity
one second,
of
let
a
him ask the
trans
question.
person, or isn't it?
oh my god.
is it transphobic to not affirm the identity of a trans person, or isn't it? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay,
I do.
why is that not true
Yes.
for the affirmation of the identity of a Christian, or the affirmation of an identity of somebody who claims that they're black when they're actually white? or
Yeah,
any
I was
number
just going to actually
of
ask you.
different.
that.
You
I was
would to
gonna
some
say,
extent. Wait,
if
hold on,
I
hold on, hold on.
tell-
You
if
would
I
someone
tell
have
you guys, sure.
Okay, go ahead.
If I tell you guys, you know what? I've done a lot of searching. I've been to a lot of therapy. I've done a lot of psychotherapy, and I believe that I'm Black. Uh, would you guys feel that it's harmful not to affirm that if I believe that's my identity?
I would say that, you know, if you grew up around Black culture, if you feel like you identify with Black culture, like I don't know that I would call you Black, but I would say, you know what, you seem to be really ingrained in Black culture,
You
right?
wouldn't
Like
affirm her identity, Stardust?
no, I don't believe in
Wouldn't
I
transracialism.
can't. Well,
that be-
but what kind of racist wouldn't affirm her identity, Stardust?
Yeah.
What
I
kind
mean,
of
look, I'm not
phobia?
going around saying that you guys aren't Christians, right? Like, I'm not
But
saying
if
that
you
you guys
did, you
aren't.
said it's not a
You
phobia.
don't. No, no, I didn't. No, that's not what
Yes,
it was.
my
You're changing
question- I
it. You're changing
specifically
your
asked
question.
this.
I think
Your
we need to
question.
do.
Wait a minute.
take a little
Your question was specifically if you say that my God isn't real, is that Christphobic? No, I don't think that's Christphobic. If I go around
But if
and
I say
say
that you're not a
you
man,
guys
that's
are
saying-
not
oh.
Christians, you guys are not real Christians, then yes, possibly that could be.
Why would that be
Yeah.
Christphobic, but the alternative would not be?
Well,
What is the
because
criteria?
you're
What is
claiming
the
that you
junction
are.
breaker?
What you're claiming is you're claiming that your identity as a Christian. I am
Mhm.
denying your identity as a Christian.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just
Yeah,
through my
that's what it would
perception.
be.
Just through my perception, you're denying it. It doesn't have to
Yes.
map onto reality. It only has to map through the perception. So is
So,
it Christophobia
clarified.
through or
it's
not?
it's I would say it's anti-Christian. Yeah, it's probably anti-Christian to say that, hey, you know what, you say you're Christian, but I don't believe you.
So
Right.
then is it anti-white to say that race doesn't exist?
No, not really. We have things that are social constructs all the time, right?
So
But we like money doesn't really exist. We
it
made
does.
it.
It does. There are pieces of paper which reflect reality. That's the
Yeah,
non-social
but we still
construction.
made that up. We
Hang
still
on,
made
stop,
that up.
stop. The argument of what is the social construction portion of money and what is the physical portion of money, okay, that needs to be clarified. There is a physical portion of these things which does map onto objective reality. Then there's a social
Mhm.
construction aspect to it as well, like a school. That is still a building. The social construction aspect would be the school, right?
So yes, what I would say is like money. Yes, we have like hard money. We can look at it; it's a real thing. But that real thing still came out of the social construction
Right.
of
Well,
it.
what I'm trying to clarify is what is the social construction aspect versus what is the physical aspect of the actual thing that maps on to reality. In this
Well, the
particular case,
physical-
the only thing that maps on to reality is the biological sex. The thing that does not map on to reality is the social construction, which you call gender. You say that it's transphobic to not affirm the identity of a person, but cannot give me a threshold breaker for any other specific identity.
No, yeah, I have given you. I've said that, yeah, if I'm going around denying your identity as a Christian, then yeah, that would probably be bigoted.
So if you say
Yeah, can I jump in
a
here really
Satanist
quick?
isn't a real Christian,
Again, it's a little bit to repeat something Stardust did bring up, of course, but like, do you think that if I were to deny the fact, like I am acting like I know more about your religious beliefs than you, and saying like, no, you're not actually Christian. Like, do you think that wouldn't be like a problem? Like, that's more analogous in my mind. Is somebody saying like, oh, you're not this, like you're not this, you can't be this. Like, I don't know what you feel. Well, I don't know what your beliefs are. I don't know how your internal mindset is. Like, I
But
don't think that would
aren't
be
we
fair at
talking
all
about
for me.
biological reality?
I'm almost done.
Okay,
But
sure.
unfair for me to say when it comes to like the way that you interpret yourself and your identity as being a Christian. I don't think I should have the right to say like, I mean, not like to say it, but like,
well,
you
let's
know,
test
it's
and
kind
see
of a
if this
piece of
is
shit move
actually.
to do.
Let's test and see if that's true.
A piece of shit move if I
Yeah.
were to tell you, oh no, you're not Christian.
Let's
because,
find
like,
out. Let's
because of
find out,
whatever, you're not
Neeina.
Christian.
Let's find out if that's actually true, Neeina. Okay, so here
What's
we'll
up?
just test this with a quick hypothetical. Let us assume that there was a woman who pretended her entire life to be black, but she wasn't actually black, right? And let's say that she had like some prominent Democrat position of some
What is
kind.
she like, classic
This-
and like
the-
blackface or what?
This fictitious woman who never existed, right? And then let's assume that it was found out that she was not actually African American in any way, shape, or
Okay.
form, and that she was just LARPing as being one. But she said that she had the lived experience of one, and so therefore should be considered a black person, regardless of the fact that she wasn't, and the entirety in mass of black people came out and said, no, you're not black, are they all being racist by not accepting her identity, Neena?
Well, you asked a few different things there. Are you trying to seem more like it's like, okay,
I asked
so
one
I don't
thing.
know that person's position. I'm not going to assume that. Like that just is not
Okay.
really something that I feel like is
He's
that
talking
important.
about Rachel Dolezal, who pretended to be black so she could get a position at the head of the NCAAP,
Okay,
I
cool.
think,
People do
right?
dumb shit.
You know,
like,
and she got appointed to all these black activist groups and organizations, and it turned out that she had been putting cornrows in and spray tanning herself and pretending to be of African American descent when she never was. She's like white as I am, right? And so she was fired from those jobs. She was completely ousted by the black community. Does that make the black community racist against her? Does it mean they are being phobic against her if they say, no, you cannot adopt our identity and claim it when that's not your biological reality?
well, it seems that that person was just doing that for some sort of like tangible benefit,
That
right?
doesn't answer the
Oh, wait a
question.
minute. Wait a minute. Oh,
Well, I don't
okay,
remember the
so
story
what
that well.
about
It's an old thing.
a trans man? So this the whole premise of the debate is it
Uh-huh.
transphobic to say a trans man is not a real man? What if a trans man is pretending? How do
Mhm.
you know that that person isn't pretending to be a man? Because let's say they believe in the patriarchy and that the patriarchy gives men unfair advantages like you think it does. Why
Okay.
should that? How do we know that woman isn't pretending to be a man so that she can get the benefits that our society gives to men?
That's what
How
I'm
would we know?
saying. Your example of Rachel Dolezal is seemingly like it's already been proven that they were using that for the
It never really was
reason.
proven, it was assumed. But the contention
Okay.
from the black community was just like, we don't
You're
care
not
what
black.
your
They
we
said you're
don't
not
care what
black.
your
That's what
yeah,
they
we
said.
don't care what your motivations are. You cannot say you are biologically a black person,
'Cause
just
you're
like
not.
a woman
Can I-
cannot say she's a man.
Answer
I-
to the
can I,
question. No, don't
No,
interject.
were they
Let her
saying
answer
they
for
were
once.
biologically black? Like, what does that even mean?
We're
What does
asking the
biologically
question
black
she
again.
is
mean?
I'm going to make
black.
it as simple as I possibly can for
Yeah,
you, Neena.
but you can be.
Was
like,
it
what is
racist for
biologically black?
for blacks, for the black community to say you're not black? Was that racist of them?
Was it racist for them to just say that you're not black? I mean,
Yeah.
like, what would?
Yeah, were
like,
they causing her harm by refusing to affirm her
I have
chosen
no idea.
identity?
You have no idea.
I don't know enough about this story that you're referring to.
Okay, in a fictitious
If I
story, I didn't
can-
even bring up Rachel
Dodge.
Dolezal, but fictitiously, if it maps on the
Yeah.
same exact way in this hypothetical, okay, and they all does say every black person in the United States, every single one of them says,
That's
no, you're
kinda
not
racist.
black. Are they being racist for not affirming her identity, Neena?
I don't
That's-
believe in transracialism, like whatsoever.
Not asking you. I'm
and
asking Neena to please answer my question.
Yeah, that's
Neena.
not really like I think we're a little bit too far off base here.
Answer
I
my
know you love
question,
using this
Neena.
argument.
Stop running.
Why would I answer this question? I don't think it applies.
You
What are
can't
talking
answer the
about? Like,
question,
you're
can you?
asking it. You're asking me to ask a metaphor of every single fucking black person would agree with, like calling.
Yes, I
her
know
not
hypotheticals are
black.
designed to
I
test
don't
logic.
understand
They're
why.
really
Like,
hard.
what you're trying to imply that every single black person has the exact same opinion?
Yes, that's the. Well, Neena, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
I don't think that it's
What?
racist.
How would you
don't think
how would
that's
you feel
racist.
this morning if you never had breakfast, Neena? How would you feel?